Liberty and a new HVAC smart system this summer at Sitzer Green with Bryant. Whatever it takes, just like our founding fathers. USA! USA! USA!
Alabama license number 12705/52808.
We are a nation that has overcome. We are no strangers to adversity. It's because we've been through challenging times and always come through more capable than before. We are strong, over 300 million strong, and together we're at our best. Join us for America's semi-quincentennial. That's right, 250 years in 2026. Visit America250.org.
What a catch! The champion will be crowned.
The 2026 United Bowl, presented by Credit One. Saturday, June 13th on ABC and the ESPN app.
This weekend on ESPN Radio, it's a National League showdown at Wrigley.
Left field, way back there. God! Alex Bregman.
One of baseball's great ballparks, two historic teams, and a weekend built for drama.
God! Devers deposits one, a 3-run homer. Wow!
The Giants at the Cubs. Coverage begins tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern and Sunday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
You know when you're locked in, focused, and fearless.
Welcome to the WNBA.
Your vision narrows. You can't look away. Every assist, every stop, every logo 3.
From beyond the logo!
Every did you see that moment?
You bet!
What record?
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Scott Tyson here with your 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. Sources telling College Hoops today the matchups for this year's SEC-ACC Basketball Challenge are set. Auburn will travel to Clemson December 1st, while Alabama will travel to take on Miami December 2nd. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey and Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti issue a joint statement after talking about the Protect College Sports Act, in part saying they do not support the bill in its current form, but look forward to continuing dialogue with Senator Ted Cruz and his team. Paul Allen, who was a voice on the Auburn broadcast team for more than 5 decades, has passed away at the age of 75. 97.7 ESPN The Zone invites you to join us Monday, June 22nd for the Huntsville Sports Commission Rocket City Awards presented by Baumhauer's Victory Grill and 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Tickets start at just $50. Email 977WCCNevents@gmail.com for more information.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Golfist, Huntsville's newest, coolest, and only multi-location indoor golf venue where you bring your own gear. Use the Golfist to play over 2,000 courses from around the world, including that one in Georgia that kicks off the majors. Plus, the Golfist is a great place to dial in your game or have an office event or private party. Their third location in the Valley is coming to Hughes Road in Madison soon. Visit thegolfist.com for more info. That's GOLFFICE, thegolfist.com.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The Big Dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the Big Dog.
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my elbow.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here. Oh, baby. That music can only mean one thing. It's Football Friday in the doghouse. I sound a little bit reserved. It's Football Friday. Football music all throughout the show today. A little reserved, to just kind of catching up a little bit on Paul Ellen passing away. Better part of 5 decades working for Auburn and their broadcast team and hosting, baseball and football and pre-games and post-games and, seeing him all around the program over the years and so on. And passing away at age 75. 75 is a little young. It's a little young. And, you hate to see something like that. So our thoughts and prayers with the not only his family, but, of course, all the Auburn fans that lose somebody that's a little piece of their history with Paul Allen. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really – I don't know that they've said cause of death or anything like that at this particular point in time, but I'm not close enough to it to know. I'm sure some of you Auburn fans might know a little bit more about it. I don't know if he was sick or anything like that, or what it was that led to his passing at age 75. But Paul Allen is gone. Now we've got a lot to get to in the show today. Of course, we always run that football music. It's Football Friday, regardless of season, but we do have a lot of football in the show today. And we also have some super regional talk with the baseball tournament getting started. And congrats to the Texas Longhorns, who go back-to-back in the softball tournament. This comes after the back-to-back four-peat that Oklahoma had. So the SEC inherited those two softball dynasties. Now, it's nice to see them get that thing finished up before the baseball supers begin so that we can focus on that. Now, the supers get started today, so there would have been a little carryover there if they had a Game 3 in that series. But Texas goes ahead and sweeps Texas Tech to get to win. Now, to help us out with the baseball and help us out with the Auburn-Ole Miss series, which is really one of the most fascinating ones in all the super regionals, this SEC on SEC matchup, Justin Ferguson of the Auburn Observer will join us at the bottom of this hour. Somehow Auburn and Ole Miss did not play in the regular season. I'm not sure how that happens, but this is going to happen, I guess, with a 16-team conference. You need 15 weekends. You don't have enough weekends to play everybody in the conference. If you played everybody one time, that would be like 45 conference games. And they play about 59 games total. They just don't have enough weekends to get everybody. But it's nuts to think that would be a series that didn't get played. Auburn and Ole Miss, you would think it would have been. And so this is going to be a compelling one. Of course, it'll take place at Auburn, and they'll get started tonight. Alabama gets started tomorrow in their matchup with St. John's. But I don't think these are short 3-game series. I don't think it's overstating things to say that this is a critical game tonight, because the team that loses this game between Auburn and Ole Miss all of a sudden has now got their back to the wall, and they've got to win 2 straight. And so game 1 in all of these short series are really tough. We're also going to ask Justin about Auburn's recent football recruiting surge, as they've been making some noise in recruiting. They've moved up to 5th in the SEC with a lot of the heavy hitters in the SEC behind them, to be honest with you, based on numbers alone. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, those people are all looking up at Auburn right now. But Auburn 5th, I think, in the top 20 now nationally for 2027. We're at the very beginning of the cycle, obviously, but they've got 14 commitments now, and Alex Golish is doing pretty good there. At the top of the 11, senior college sports writer Trey Wallace from Outkick.com and Fox Sports will join us on what's been going on in Congress, plus that Greg Sankey, Tony Petitti meeting with Ted Cruz. That's all I need to know. I mean, these guys are now becoming more and more connected at the hip. They control the college football playoff. They're the ones that are going to, they're carrying a ball with this whole thing, regardless of, this Save College Football Act that's out there. These guys, these two guys representing, this is the hammer right here. Representing 34 teams? Could be more. Eventually, you never know. Not if this bill goes through. If this thing gets signed, this act gets signed, it says that any conference with over $1 billion in gross revenue is not allowed to expand or merge. There's only 2 of those. Tony Petitti's Big Ten and Greg Sankey's SEC. They're the only ones that make over $1 billion. So there are things about this deal that they don't like, but they met with Ted Cruz. I'll tell you what the statement was that they put out. And we'll also get into the Brandon Sorsby situation. He has sued the NCAA for the right to play this year at Texas Tech after he was suspended and ruled ineligible for his out-of-control gambling issue. Have you seen some of the numbers behind that thing? Now, his claim is that he has a gambling addiction, which is the result of mental health issues. Let me tell you something. This thing is being heard by a judge in Texas. It's going to rule on this at any minute, really. To be honest with you, if Trey Wallace is might have to jump out immediately if this ruling comes down. But Sorsby, if this thing goes against the NCAA, you might as well just kill the NCAA. This is the very reason why we're having the conversations that they're having in Congress, that the NCAA can't even say a kid who bet over $90,000 on his team, allegedly to win games when he was a backup at Indiana, and another $60,000 for a buddy of his. And then he says it's an addiction. Like he can't control himself. If this goes through and he's allowed to play, I mean, Katie barred the door when that happens. So we'll get into that as well. Lines are open. Feel free to jump in and contribute at 256-576-4977. That number is good wherever and however you consume the show. We got a text window for you. That's open as well. We'll read and react to those on the air. So if you want to jump on board there at the text window, it's 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. Those things will get you into the show via the text window as well. And finally, you can watch the show on WZZN TV, on the YouTube and the Facebook and the X. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. And yeah, that's a boat wide open behind me. That's a wake wide open behind me because that's where my head is right now. See where that sun is setting back there and that wake is wide open? I need a little of that. I need a dose of that sometime later this afternoon. Whenever I get done with my work, sometime later this afternoon, I think I'm hitting the lake. I need to do that. Tomorrow morning, by the way, in Fayetteville, I can't remember the name of the park, but in Fayetteville, I'll be at this park that are having the fishing rodeo there for youth. They'll have over 200 kids there lining the little lazy creek that goes through the park there. They'll have like 5,000 pounds of catfish in there and whatnot. So I'll be there. I'll be there with the boat. And, meeting the kids and handing out some stuff. And so you guys want to go to that, or you got kids and you want to go to that, they line up on the bank. It's a heck of a sight. It's really, really cool. So TWRA puts that on, and I'm honored to be invited to be there and meet the kids and let them come and climb on the boat and take pictures and all that kind of good stuff. Another dramatic game last night in the Stanley Cup final. It looked like the Golden Knights were going to take a commanding 2-0 lead in the series. They were leading 2-0 with less than 10 minutes to go in the game, and then Carolina goes off. They tied it up at 2. Then Vegas thinks that they've scored a goal. The whistle blows. The goalie, Frederick Anderson, is on top of the puck, but Vegas is poking at it, and they poke it in, and they think they scored, so they ask for a review. John Tortorella did. The review goes against them, no goal. Vegas takes a delay of game penalty. Then the next thing you know, Carolina scores their third straight goal to take the lead 3-2. The place is going bonkers. And it looks like, oh my gosh, Carolina just scored 3 straight goals in the last 10 minutes of the game to win. Wait, the Golden Knights pull their goalie in the final minute of regulation. They score to tie the game up at 3, goes into OT, and the Canes win it in OT to square that series at 1. Very dramatic. Game 1 had over 5 million viewers. That was the most they've had in 7 years for a Game 1 for the Stanley Cup final. The Stanley Cup ratings, TV ratings, are way up. So is the NBA, though. Game 7 in the NBA series between the Thunder and the Spurs had, just to put it in perspective, had 15 million. 15 million. Now, that was a Game 7. I haven't seen numbers yet from Game 1 of the NBA. And last night in that game, Vegas's Brett Howden notched his 12th and 13th playoff goals, giving him one more than he had in the entire season. He had 12 goals during the season. He's got 13 goals in the playoffs. It's just the 7th player ever to have more goals in the playoff than he had in the regular season. And in the first period last night, Braden McNabb of Vegas took an 87-mile-an-hour shot right to the chicklets. I mean, this guy is their all-time leader in blocked shots, but that one hurt. That one left a mark. I mean, it hurt to watch it. 87 miles an hour. He's right in front of the net, takes it right in the smush. Hit him. Luckily, it hit him in the shield. The bottom of it caught some of the shield in his face. He went down like he was shot from the crowd and then immediately got up and skated off, holding his face. Was taken to the hospital, and I have not seen any further updates yet on his condition. Now, tonight, the NBA returns to center stage with Game 2 of the Knicks in San Antonio. New York is 7-1 on the road in these playoffs and has won 12 straight games. Since, remember about, I don't know, a year ago, they were down 2-1, 2 games to 1 to Atlanta to open the playoffs. The Hawks were up 2-1. Everybody's like, oh, my God, the Knicks are going to get wiped out in the first round. Since that time, they've won 12 straight playoff games. For San Antonio, this is massive tonight. This is a massive game tonight. This is like the game ones in the college, in the NCAA baseball tournament, like in the regionals. Because for the Knicks, this is a closeout game. I'm just telling you right now. Knicks win this game tonight, it's over. It's like a closeout game. Then the only question becomes, will they sweep them? Will it be 5 or 6? There's no way that San Antonio's coming back from dropping the first 2 at home. I don't think anybody's ever done that in the NBA in any 7-game series. I'll bet the book crack research on it. But I don't think anybody has ever lost 2 at home and then won a series in the NBA, a 7-game series. I may be wrong. And one other note, a golf note. How about a golf note? You got the Memorial going on there to Jack Nicklaus's tournament. A little too close to the U.S. Open for me, but you got that, big field in that. It's one of them signature events. So Scotty Scheffler with a meltdown directed at his caddy after he hit a ball into the water on a par 3. I mean, it was ridiculous to be honest. It was embarrassing. The grown man, number 1 player in the world. How do we get the win wrong? I don't understand that. I had a perfect shot. How could we get the win? How did you not give me the win right? He's just bitching at the caddy because they got the win wrong. Look, I tell you what, I got a thought on this whole golfer-caddy relationship. Tell me what you think of this. And I got a little bit of background. I played college golf. Of course, we carried our own bag. We didn't have caddies. But I've been around golf my whole life. All right, I grew up in a golfing family, golf and fishing, fishing and golf. Okay, I don't play very much anymore, but I still love the game. And I wish I did play more. That's not the point. The point is that I've been around the horn with golf. I caddied as an 18, 19-year-old for a young golfer on the mini tours that my dad was a sponsor of. And I was the caddy. So I've had this caddy pro relationship and so on and so forth. I got a thought about this whole thing. Be totally honest with you. Now, I was an 18-year-old caddy. You know what I did? I carried the bag and I handed him a club that he wanted. And if he had a banana in the bag and he said, hey, hand me the banana, I gave him the banana and he handed me back the club. I'd wake the club up, put it in the bag. We didn't have conversations about which way the wind was coming. That was up to him. He's the player. We didn't have conversations about like whether or not, it wasn't like in Ting Cup, where I started breaking his clubs because I wanted him to hit 7-iron off the tee. He's the player. I'm telling you right now, I would be honest with you, on the PGA Tour, best players in the world, you play golf. I don't think you should get any advice from your caddy. I don't think your caddy should be giving you advice about what club to hit. I think here's the thing. You're the player. You decide what club you want. You decide what direction the wind's coming from and how strong it is. You decide whether you need an extra club. You read your own putts. I think the caddy should have just shut up. No conversation other than thank you here. That's it. Don't question him on what club selection. You're not coaching him. You're not his psychologist out there. You're not his cheerleader. Carry the clubs, and the player should make every decision. It should be a violation if the caddy is giving advice. Now, look, I know this won't happen, but you got a yardage book. The caddy can walk your yardage beforehand. You now have a yardage book. You look at your yardage book like you do anyway. Caddy doesn't need to be telling you, I think it's an 8-iron, the wind's coming off on the right. No. You're the player. You play. Then you don't bitch at the caddy because, how did we get that wrong? How did we get the wind wrong? I don't understand it. I just don't understand. I hit a perfect shot. And went in the water because of you. You tell me which way the wind was blowing. It's a pet peeve of mine. It's just a pet peeve of mine. Call it what you want. It's just, Get off my lawn. No, I'm just saying. A pet peeve. All right, back at Mission Control. Playing the platters that matter to Stacks of Wax. Running solo today, handling both the video and audio portion of the radio show. It's Grasshopper.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together on a spit and polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son!
I don't like violence, Thom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Do you hear the grasshopper, which is at your feet?
Old man, how is it that you hear these things?
Young man, how is it that you do not?
As quickly as you can, snatch the pebble from my hand. When you can take the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave.
Hello, Thom.
I thought you were golf today.
We got
I
the
thought
Brody,
Hogan
we
was
got
out
the Brody
today.
in here. No, Brody's got to leave a little bit early, but he's still yeah, here. I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
thought
present.
you were running.
I'm locked in.
I was under the impression that you were that Grasshopper was running solo again. I thought you had to go today again. You had some place to be or something to do or whatever. You had to go to Home Depot or something. I don't know.
Nope, I'm here.
Okay, good. You here for the whole show, or you just here for for the introduction?
I think I might leave during the last segment.
Oh, that ain't bad. Yeah. That's not bad.
I'm here, chilling, gooning, all that good stuff.
Have you seen the numbers behind this Brandon Sorby situation with the gambling and so on that he did, this kid?
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. And the way that he had to go through, I believe he went through other people as well, their accounts as well, to make some of these gambles. It's quite wild.
He sent over $65,000 to some of his friends over a 4-year span to make wagers for him.
Golly.
That's placed by accounts in his own name as well as his friends and family's names. I mean, he was so desperate to make bets. It says that between his time, the story I'm reading says, between his time in Indiana and Cincinnati, he placed over $90,000 of bets. Damn. And he continued to bet on professional sports since transferring to Texas Tech. After he transferred to Texas Tech, when he was at Indiana, he placed over 2,900 bets. 2,900 bets.
I mean, I could see how you could get up there. I just don't understand
2,900.
The addiction of those little small bets. They add up. But I just don't get the addiction to it. I mean, you got to be making enough money via the football, and I don't know what itch he is scratching by throwing more money at these bets. Maybe it's just seeing that number go up even more. But I mean, how much money?
It probably
do we
went
know how
down.
much
I mean,
money?
most bettors lose. You know what I mean? So he was probably just losing money on this deal. But he He made 40 bets on Indiana football while he was on the Indiana football team, his own team. He made at least 50 bets on Indiana basketball. Probably lost money on those. And he made about 300 bets on college football games in general outside of his own team. 300 bets on college football.
I feel like the addiction when you were a pro athlete is just such an enigma to me. Like, you have everything. Why are you throwing it all away?
Yeah.
Well,
risky quite a bit.
I mean, a college athlete, too. I mean, so he says that it's due to a mental health condition. Evidence collected by the NCAA suggests that he did not wager on any Indiana football game after he began seeing the field for the Hoosiers and did not bet on Cincinnati athletics while he was there playing.
I wouldn't either.
So, well, that's what they're saying. While he was there playing. Now, the deadline to enter the NFL supplemental draft is June 22nd. So we'll see if he goes into that thing. Just where he belongs. Just go focus. Get your gambling addiction under control and go get in the NFL. The NCAA's got. If the NCAA can't shut this kid out, then what's the point? Let me get Philip in here. Philip, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm all right. Glad you got your Football Friday music in. Since you screwed us all yesterday, we waited for a week with bated breath to hear Hawaii 5-0, Chips, and Rockford Files.
Oh, we got time for that. We got. Hey, it happens every Thursday. We got plenty of time for that. It happens every Thursday. We can't do TV. We did TV last week. We can't do TV 2 weeks in a row. We'll get to those.
You said we were going to. We all waited with bated breath for that.
But come on, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
So fired up. Anyway, so golf. I don't remember if you were a part of this or if this was the other station in Nashville that was promoting a big golf tournament. And I paid like $300 to get into this freaking golf tournament. Mm-hmm. People that I didn't know. But I was promised that I would be in a foursome with Hope Hines. And that's why I did it.
Yeah. That wouldn't have been my tournament, but go ahead.
Hope Hines didn't show up. So I'm playing with these other three boats. I will say this. It was a shotgun start, and I was fairly new to golf. I hadn't been golfing very long. Mm-hmm. I forget what golf course it was. It's very exclusive golf course in Nashville. I think it was 7th hole, shotgun start, par 3, over water, over 200 yards, like 210 to 230, over water, then on the green, you got a bunker in the back. There were 2 groups of 4 standing there watching me, plus my group. And we did the whole tee thing, so I was the first one to go. I teed her up, 3-wood, crushed it 2 feet from the hole.
Really?
Yes, it was probably I don't know, it was one of the greatest golf shots I've ever hit in my life. It was awesome. It was so awesome. But the dudes, that I was playing with, we played my ball probably more than anybody else's ball. I guarantee you we played because I was hitting pretty good. Man, they would, I'm there to putt, and they're like, hit it over here, and it'll break it. Constantly telling me what to do. That was so annoying. Mm-hmm. I will never, ever, ever again play in a golf tournament like that, where you're, picking, whose balls you're going to play.
Right. It's a scramble.
With people that you don't know who you're playing with and all.
Yeah.
I'll never do it. It's like, dude, shut up. I never wanted to wrap my 7-iron around somebody's head as much as I did that day. It's crazy. And it took forever.
Yeah.
That tournament probably took 6 freaking hours to play around the golf. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those scrambles are like that. They can be like that. That's why I try to limit the amount of teams that I put in mind so that we don't have, that kind of a deal where we have, a 6-hour round of golf. But all right, Philip, have a great weekend.
I'm going to do a marathon today of Clint Eastwood. We got.
I thought he said he was going to do a marathon.
I thought he was going to run a marathon.
No. We got. Where is that? Let me see. It's going to be a great day. It's weird how some days there's absolutely nothing, and then other days there's everything. Like the movie Point Break is on today. We got Red Dawn is on today. We got Dirty Harry.
You're about to get. Let me tell you something. Dirty Harry's a good movie. Phil, just fade Philip down. Just pot him down slowly, and just keep. You're about to get wrecked by Grumpy. By the way, I just want you to know that if Grumpy doesn't call, thanks for the call, Philip. If Grumpy doesn't call and wreck you for that call, I don't know. I've never done the show before. Let's get a break. When we come back, Justin Ferguson will join us from the Auburn Observer. He is next right here in the Thom Abraham Show.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and our employee pricing for everyone is in high gear right now at Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur. That's right, everyone in the Tennessee Valley can get our special Ford employee pricing on over 280 available new Fords. Save up to $15,000 off MSRP on remaining new 25 F-150s and up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 25 Broncos. With your good credit, you can save thousands with financing as low as 0% on select new models. And always remember, Lynn Layton Ford will never charge you any mysterious dock fee or some hidden markup. It's simple. You pay what we pay on 280 new Fords. That's right, $15,000 off MSRP on new 25 F-150s, $8,000 off MSRP on new 25 Broncos, or lock in 0% financing on select new models. Come see us at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline in Decatur, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that His mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Cummins has kept the world running for more than 100 years. Since their founding in 1919, Cummins has been dedicated to leading the charge towards a future with smarter, cleaner power. Cummins sales and service locations are right where you need them when you need your engine or generator set service. And now, Cummins has a new Huntsville branch opening June 10th. They're located on Highway 31 in Tanner, just north of Calhoun College. Cummins expert technicians will keep you up and running. Call them at 205-808-2210. Thom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feed for your property to bring the soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Your Fox 54 weather.
Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A really nice Friday across the Tennessee Valley. A little more cloud cover. It also maybe just a touch on the humid end of the spectrum, but still really nice. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s, dropping into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Saturday, maybe a passing shower or two, but the vast majority of us are going to be dry. Temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. A better opportunity for rain builds in on Sunday.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham here from my friends at All About Water, LLC. Look, those spring and summer rains are going to hit at some point, and when they do, you need Ryan at All About Water to help you deal with keeping it away from your foundation or doing damage on your property. Now, his background is in fluid dynamics, and that assures you that they can handle any job, including building and maintaining a pond or any other sort of water feature. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com. And welcome back to Thom Abraham Show on a Football Friday. Glad you are with us. A Football Friday where the Super Regionals will begin tonight in the baseball tournament. And joining us to talk about that and other things concerning Auburn is, of course, Justin Ferguson of the Auburn Observer. Ferg, welcome in. How are you, man? All right. I'm not hearing Justin, boys. If I'm not hearing him at all. Ferg, are you there? He's on the horn, I would believe, right? Justin, are you there? Can you hear us? You may need to try and reconnect with him because I'm not hearing him at all. Will do. Not coming back to me. We'll see if we can't get Justin Ferguson back in here. Of course, as I said, the Super Regionals get going tonight. 7 SEC teams alive. As many as 5 could make it to Omaha. I say 5 because Mississippi State and Georgia are playing each other, as are Auburn and Ole Miss. So the 2 of the SEC teams will get eliminated there. You got Oklahoma in their Super Regional against Kansas. They are an underdog. They will be at Kansas, but Oklahoma, I think has an excellent shot there to get that done. You've got, of course, Alabama and St. John's. Most people feel like Alabama catches a break there because of Florida State getting knocked out, but St. John's could be awfully sporty. So we'll see what happens with that one. And Texas and Oregon will play as well. And that one will be at Texas. The top 2 seeds, of course, have been knocked out of the tournament. We will try them again. Justin, are you there?
Yep. Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay. We can hear him now. So Justin Ferguson joins us, Auburn Observer. Everything you need to know about Auburn is at the Auburn Observer. And just a thought first before we get started, Paul Allen's passing. I didn't hear whether he was sick or anything. I don't know any more information about it, but 75 years old and a guy that for, a lot of Auburn fans, better part of 5 decades, this guy was a part of Auburn radio, and it's a sad day to hear about his passing.
Yeah, he had been dealing with some health things in recent years, and but Paul, just an iconic voice. He had like the best on-air voice I think of anybody I've ever come across, at Auburn, and he did so many different roles. You know, he's play-by-play. He was the studio host for most of my life, and just very, very sad. He's a guy who had I think a larger than life voice, and just a great person, and you know, somebody who is going to be greatly missed here in this community.
I'm sure he would have a lot to say about this matchup between Auburn and Ole Miss that begins tonight, a critical first game in these things. It's mind-boggling in a way. I mean, I guess I understand it in a 16-team conference, but it's kind of almost shocking that these teams didn't play each other during the regular season. It's kind of amazing that you could think Auburn could go through an entire 59-game baseball season and never match up with Ole Miss.
Yeah, no, it is crazy. There were only a handful of teams Auburn didn't play this year in SEC play, and lo and behold, one of those teams, the team they're going to play with a shot to get to the College World Series on the line. So, yeah, very interesting matchup. You look at this Ole Miss team, they've been a pretty kind of boom or bust type of offense. They have a ton of strikeouts. They don't have a great batting average, but they walk a decent bit and hit the ball out of the yard pretty frequently. They've got a couple of power hitters that are among the best in the SEC. Got a couple of guys who do a really good job at table setting ahead of them and getting on base. So, they've got a formidable lineup, and I think front to back they've got a pretty good pretty good staff. Their number one starter is probably going to go tonight. It's had some struggles here recently, but is one of the most experienced pitchers in the league, and may have, their closer could be one of the very best in all the country this year. And I know Auburn really likes their staff and their depth, so it's going to be a really, really interesting matchup with, just kind of that power, that kind of all or nothing lineup that you kind of see from this Ole Miss offense, combined with the pitching staff that's done a really good job of keeping them in games.
He came out of Nebraska region there. There were a 2 seed there. But, from a record standpoint, 39-21, Auburn 42-20. So it's not a huge difference. Auburn's the number 4 seed in the country, and they're of the after 1 and 2 went out. It's Georgia and Auburn are the top 2 seeds left in this whole thing. I have picked Georgia and Auburn all along to meet in the championship. We'll see if that happens. Georgia also has to play an SEC foe in Mississippi State, so we'll see where that all goes. But man, tonight you can't over all of these first games. Whether it's Alabama tomorrow, the other teams that play tomorrow, or all the other games that are going tonight in these short 3-game series, you can't overestimate the importance of game 1, right? Because, you lose a game and then all of a sudden your sphincter tightens up. You got your back to the wall for the next 2 games. You got to win them both.
Yeah, and it's do or die. I think this Auburn team, has done a really good job of responding to adversity. Last weekend they lose the first game in the regional to Milwaukee in kind of stunning fashion, and they have to win, 4 straight to get out. And you have the pressure on you since then. On the flip side, a team like Ole Miss, they won their regional, winning their first game and just taking 2 more. So they took care of business. Now they had a couple of really crazy extra inning games with Arizona State to get to that point, but they only played 3. Auburn had to play 5 games, and so it just shows you the value of taking game 1, especially at home. And so Auburn's going to kind of line it up tonight with Andres Alvarez. Their starters had the most rest. And Butch Thompson said yesterday it's kind of all the plans they've got. And, they want to take it. They want to win game 1 by any means necessary. So they'll start Alvarez tonight, and any arm can be available for them off of that. Because they know if they can take game 1, it just shifts the whole series, the whole weekend into their favor. So look for them to really come out swinging with the importance of this game. Like you said, in the 30-game series, game 1 can mean so much.
7 o'clock tonight, ESPN2 is where you can watch it. Auburn would be the home team tonight, right? So then tomorrow they would be the visitor, and then they'll be the home team if there's a game 3 in that deal. In baseball, they have that deal where if you are the division winner that hosts the 3-game set, you get to be the home team for all 3 games.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, when you see a team in the super regionals or even in the regional playing in their own building and they're the visiting team. I honestly think that if you earn that super regional hosting position, that you should be able to be the home team in all 3 games. Baseball, it means something. Other sports, football, it's just the color of the jersey that you're wearing. In baseball, you're talking about last ups. That means something.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And you think it was kind of interesting last week. You go back and watch a couple of do-or-die games Auburn had to win in that regional. They're wearing their road grays. And it's just really odd to kind of see that. But, yeah, it puts more pressure on you for sure. So that's also, going back to the importance of game one, you do have, home team designation in this first game. Auburn needs to go out there and take advantage of it.
Yeah, they do need to do that. That's for sure. All right, let's just shift gears for a minute and talk about what's going on with the football recruiting because they got a little bit of a move going on here. They've signed a bunch of guys here recently, or not signed, but have gotten commitments from a bunch of guys recently. Now have 14 commitments, and they're kind of moved up in the rankings pretty quickly. This is some pretty heady stuff for Alex Golish.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the big question mark on Alex Golish coming in is like, how would he be able to recruit in the SEC against some of the big dogs? And early on, I mean, it's definitely early, long way to go, but it's done really well. Auburn's got a top 20 class, top 5 in the SEC. You look up, they're ahead of Alabama, Georgia, Texas, and LSU right now, which is pretty impressive because of how good those teams are in recruiting now. Wouldn't expect all that to stay that way the whole time. Of course, it's a long, several months to go before we get to signing day, but this Auburn class has done a really, really good job. And it started off slow. I guess about a month and change ago, they only had like 2 or 3 commitments. They caught fire this past weekend. And there's several guys who were on official visits this past weekend who committed to the team that haven't announced yet. There's some guys who's got some scheduled announcements coming up. But Alex Golish, I think right now, it's like 3 guys from over the weekend that haven't announced yet. So there's 3 more still out there. And then on top of that, they've got a huge official visit weekend coming up this weekend as well. So they took full advantage of being able to bring these guys on campus. And I think Golish and his staff have done a really good job of working hard and playing catch up, when you're recruiting guys like this. And, I think that's going to be something that they're going to have to kind of lean on. But it's a really good start. And, I think it's the kind of recruiting start that if you get into the regular season and you win some games, you get a winning year and you get some momentum, you could really parlay it into a really, really fun class for Auburn. So, really good work so far from the staff. And this past weekend was one of the more successful ones in recent memory when it comes to official visits.
Well, yeah, and the difference, with Brian Harsin, for example, he hadn't really seen what this looked like with
right.
At least with Alex Golish. Sure, he comes over from South Florida, but he was at Tennessee. He knows what an SEC guy looks like.
Yep.
He knows what it's like to recruit in this league. So I think that helped him a lot. This running back, I mean, this Mason Johnson Cook kid, 6'2", 235-pound running back. That guy seems to be quite a beast. I think he's number 5 running back in the country, number 4, I think, in the composite maybe, in the entire country as a running back.
Yeah, and some people think he could end up being a 5-star when it's all said and done this cycle. He's 6'2", 230, and he runs track.
Man, no.
Not like he's a sprinter. Like he's a high class sprinter. So he's kind of the total package at running back. And Auburn worked really hard to get him. He's from East St. Louis in Illinois. He had kind of an interesting commitment process or recruitment. It was down between Auburn and Miami, and Auburn really closed the door really well on him. And then earlier this week, they picked up Kingston Miles, who is a really just big play, super speedy back to add. He's a top 20 running back in this class. He's also from that area of the country. He's from Missouri. Auburn doing a good job going, kind of Golish's old roots out in the Midwest and picking off a couple of really talented players. And, I think it just goes to show you the commitment he has. He came in and say, hey, we're going to run the ball. We're going to really run it. They went out and got a huge transfer class at running back. They brought back Jeremiah Cobb. They brought back a couple of young guys like Omar Mabson and Alvin Henderson. And then on top of that, already they've got 2 of the best running backs in the country committed for this 27 class. So it is a real strong commitment to running it. And I think Auburn fans really enjoy hearing those kind of things.
Last few years, we talk about, where these kids are going to start their career because everybody's in the transfer, but they're like free agents before they even sign. They're free agents all the time. So hopefully Congress will give the NCAA a little bit of teeth and a little bit of ability to make some rules and I'll tell you what, the tipping point is going to be this Brandon Sorby story. We're going to cover it a little bit later with Trey Wallace, but if this kid wins a court decision and is allowed to play after betting $90,000 on college games and everything else, then that might be the point that we're finally Congress says, okay, wait a minute, we got to give these people antitrust. We got to let them make some decisions here, and because it's so out of control right now.
No, 100% it is, and I think some of the stuff that we've heard, with the Save College Sports, Protect College Sports, there were not, I like some of that. It's kind of going back to the old ways of, hey, you get one free transfer, if you're an underclassman until you graduate. Let's keep these guys on campus for a little while. Let's let these guys, let's let these guys and girls fans get to know who they are, have that kind of establishment, make roster building make more sense. It makes more sense for the fans, and just do some common sense stuff instead of just unlimited free agency every single year. Because I think you get into the point where it just becomes this, every year becomes a more escalated spending. Hey, everyone's free agent. All right, let's spend more money. That's just not sustainable, especially if you want to protect, the Olympic sports and women's sports, and you want to be able to, a school can't say, okay, well, we got to take all this money because we got to add X number of dollars more on our balance. And because of that, we can't have a tennis program anymore. Because of that, we can't do this. We don't want to be in that position. So I think there's some stuff in that bill, if it can go through, it makes a ton of sense for college sports, and it's just some common sense stuff that needs to happen.
Yeah, not everybody has a Jimmy Haslam to fork over our $130 million, and to keep their program going. I mean, that's just crazy. All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Great stuff. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, you too. Thank you, Tom.
One of the things that's really good is the weather is supposed to be pretty decent, I think. From what I'm understanding, the weather's supposed to be pretty decent, so we won't have all those delays that you get sometimes in the spring with the college baseball tournament. All right, we'll get a break in and we'll come back, wrap up hour number 1, set you up for hour number 2 next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Atlanta Braves are back at Truist Park tonight. They'll take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Chris Sale is on the bump for the Braves. He's 8-3 with an ERA right around 2. The Braves tonight on the money line minus 199, while Toronto is plus 163. Tonight, it's game number 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals as the Hurricanes host the Golden Knights. Carolina needs a win to even up the series. Carolina minus 162 on the money line, while Vegas is plus 136. The over-under is 5.5 goals. Tomorrow night, game 2 of the NBA Finals. Spurs looking to even things up. San Antonio is a 5.5-point home favorite. With your VSiN Action Update, I'm John Thayer on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Cummins has kept the world running for more than 100 years. Since their founding in 1919, Cummins has been dedicated to leading the charge towards a future with smarter, cleaner power. Cummins sales and service locations are right where you need them when you need your engine or generator set service. And now, Cummins has a new Huntsville branch opening June 10th. They're located on Highway 31 in Tanner, just north of Calhoun College. Cummins expert technicians will keep you up and running. Call them at 205-808-2210.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume. And yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and your honor. Because this is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes, but it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startup's co-founders, and of course, grilling tongs that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here, it just means more.
Your Fox 54 weather.
Chief meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A really nice Friday across the Tennessee Valley. A little more cloud cover. It also maybe just a touch on the humid end of the spectrum, but still really nice. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s, dropping into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Saturday, maybe a passing shower or two, but the vast majority of us are going to be dry. Temperatures climbing into the mid 80s. A better opportunity for rain builds in on Sunday.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231. You guys are gamers. I mean, certainly had a much better season than his rookie season. He had a bounce back season and played better and got better coaching and had that big Hail Mary against the Packers. I get all of that. But why isn't Sam Darnold on the cover of Madden?
Caleb Williams is a big-time player in a big-time market, so they know it's going to sell.
Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but what's
Sam Darnold is a big
time. What's sexier right now?
How is Sam Darnold? He was the number one pick by the Jets.
It's not sexy anymore. He's a little bit older. He failed whenever he first got into the league, whereas Caleb Williams,
the last 2 years he's been great.
Caleb Williams, it's all been rise ever since he came into the league. Obviously,
no, he
bit
sucked
iffy.
the first year. He was good the second year. He's probably going to suck again this year.
I highly doubt it, and hopefully he doesn't get hit with the curse. But I think it's a fine choice. He's not my favorite player, but I think it goes well. Chicago hasn't had a guy on the cover. I don't know.
He's a bad choice.
Oh yeah. There was one other guy.
Who?
It's been a minute.
Who was on it?
Could have been Hester. No, I think
it's a
might
bad
be the
choice.
only one.
No,
it's a bad choice. Did you see? I think the college game put Kurt Signetti on the cover, so they can finally pay kids. So they put Kurt Signetti on the cover.
Oh,
is that right? Maybe I made that up.
Madden NFL 09 in Spanish, I guess in Mexico and all that stuff. Roberto Garza was on the cover.
Oh,
there you
sure,
go.
Roberto Garza. Yeah. I can think of 10 guys that should be on that cover before Caleb Williams. All right, when we come back, Trey Wallace, Fox Sports, and Outkick will join us for College Sports Talk next.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Monday, June 22nd, 97.7 The Zone will return to the Mars Music Hall for our Huntsville Sports Commission Rocket City Awards to crown the achievements of the top athletes, coaches, and gamers from North Alabama. Reserve your spot now for just $50, or better yet, become a table sponsor. Email us today at 977WZZNEvents@gmail.com. That's 977WZZNEvents@gmail.com. And be a part of one of the Rocket City's most memorable nights.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Scott Tyson here with your 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. Sources telling College Hoops Today the matchups for this year's SEC-ACC Basketball Challenge are set. Auburn will travel to Clemson December 1st, while Alabama will travel to take on Miami December 2nd. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey and Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti issue a joint statement after talking about the Protect College Sports Act, in part saying they do not support the bill in its current form, but look forward to continuing dialogue with Senator Ted Cruz and his team. Paul Allen, who was a voice on the Auburn broadcast team for more than 5 decades, has passed away at the age of 75. 97.7 ESPN The Zone invites you to join us Monday, June 22nd for the Huntsville Sports Commission Rocket City Awards presented by Baumhauer's Victory Grill and 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Tickets start at just $50. Email 977WCCNevents@gmail.com for more information.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. Guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my
enough to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome in on a Football Friday in a Doghouse. It's always Football Friday, regardless of the fact that the Super Regionals are getting started tonight in the baseball tournament. We love that, and it's going to be tremendous. We'll see how many SEC teams can get to Omaha. Could be 5. We'll see. See how that works out. And also, of course, a lot of football topics that are going on as we welcome in a new audience that are listening in Nashville on Nashville Sports Radio in Nashville and in Murfreesboro, along with our friends at 97.7 ESPN in Huntsville and ESPN Winchester and Winchester, Tennessee as well. Welcome one, welcome all. We'll get the phone lines going again in a little bit. You can watch the show at WZZN TV on the YouTube or the Facebook and the X. You can find it at my X feed at Thom Abraham Show. And when you go there, you're going to find the smiling face of one Trey Wallace, who's very busy right now, but he is taking a few moments for us. He's a senior college sports writer for Outkick.com, Fox Sports as well. And, of course, you see his smiling face out there with all the podcasts that he does, and he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Trey, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Busy day to wrap up the week, and I'm sure it goes into the weekend, but excited for NCAA Tournament Super Regionals. About to start here in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm excited for that as well. I'm glad that the softball got taken care of last night and kind of cleared the deck. Now we get into the Super Regionals, and at least 2 SEC teams. That's all we care about is the SEC teams over here. But at least 2, possibly 5. I think maybe 4 probably get to Omaha. Probably half the field will be SEC teams.
Yeah, it's going to be. I actually, somebody from the state of Alabama. I'm looking forward to seeing Troy take the field this afternoon. Going to be fun seeing them play Arkansas, Little Rock, a little bit of an old Sun Belt Conference showdown, and then seeing what's going on in Morgantown. Obviously, the SEC. But trying to go outside the realm a little bit. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is what I enjoy this time of year. I love going to Omaha. I'll be out in Omaha for the College World Series, and we're going to see who's there next couple days.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. And one of the things that's happened, it kind of leads us to what's going on in Congress right now. One of the things that's happened is, of course, the SEC had been so dominant in football for so many years, and then NIL and the free transfers and everything else opened up the rest of the country, if you will. Big Ten has won the last 3. And there's a lot of gnashing of teeth that is going on, especially in the SEC area. And we all hate the free transfers and the way NIL goes and how these deals are not really name, image, and likeness deals, are just pay-for-play type things. And all of those things, I get that. And this whole save college sports and the thought that, everything is dying on the vine. The problem with all of that is the TV ratings are higher than ever for both football and basketball. I mean, it's just it's incredible. And so I get that there's some things that need to be dealt with, but on the other hand, the whole nation being opened up to college football once again is not really a bad thing in terms of the way the consumers are taking it. They don't seem to care that much.
No, and I think first off, at the end of the day, people are tired of hearing about what's going on in Washington, D.C. or any type of congressional act and whatnot. I think that we're past a point of frustration for the regular average fan. I think that they just want to watch ball. And I think television ratings kind of prove that. I mean, look what the NCAA tournament did with basketball. Even look at what was going on with the Women's College World Series and the numbers they were getting out of that, and I'm excited to see what baseball brings and obviously football. But, at the end of the day, is there a problem? Yeah, there's a problem in college athletics right now. There is a situation where you're going to have smaller schools. Like, I'm a University of South Alabama guy. Worked under John Pelfrey while I was down there. And I look at my alma mater and I'm like, oh boy, what level are we going to be competing at in 5 years? I think that one of the things that they would like, and I'm not just speaking for South Alabama, but even others, is maybe have their own type of playoff to fight for every year. Like, they know they're not going to win a CFP national championship. That's obvious. But give them something to play for, like you see at the Division II, Division III level, where they have their playoff. Like, maybe that is a route that you go for some of these. Because at the end of the day, like, it's coming. Like, there's going to be something down the line, whether that's the SEC just adding more teams or the Big Ten adding more teams. Look how much Clemson and Florida State have wanted to get out of the ACC the last number of years. They wanted out so bad or figure out their number that they sued their own conference. I think that day is coming in a sense of SEC is going to add more. I think that, when it comes to like a super conference, which I'm so tired of hearing that name, the super conference, that word that is used, I don't know how financially smart that is for the SEC and the Big Ten, because does ESPN and Fox really want to get into bed together and come together with some fat contract where they can split up the rights like what goes on in the NFL? I don't know if that's smart financially. I think that the SEC already sees itself as a super league, and by adding more teams, that's fine. And that's where there's a holdup, when it comes to this legislation. It's sure you would like us to pool our media rights, but it's optional. But at the end of the day, we're still getting pressure from everybody, which has turned the SEC and the Big Ten into the bad guys. And to that I say this, like Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti are taking a lot of heat. And I don't agree on everything that they say, Tom, but Greg Sankey works for the SEC and Tony works for the Big Ten. It's not like they're out here making these decisions. They gather information, they get the opinions from the presidents and chancellors, and then they present that. And then they grab their answers and they go back to their bosses, and that's where the votes come from. So I think the whole, oh my gosh, it's Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti trying to ruin all of college sports. No. If you're going to place blame on people, place it to the right people. And that would be the presidents and chancellors at each of these schools, if there is blame to be put on them. So I just think the notion, just because Greg Sankey might be speaking for the SEC doesn't make it doesn't mean he's actually making the decision.
I was a senior in high school in 1978, so I'm old enough to remember at that point in time, this is not unprecedented if something like what you're talking about happens down the road, because I'm old enough to remember in 1978 when all of a sudden they said, we're going to create something called 1AA.
Yeah.
We're going to separate these schools from those schools. And at that time, there was only 75 or 80 schools that were considered 1A, and then you had another 80 or so that were 1AA. Now that 1A has grown to 138, and even Chris Massaro, the athletic director at Middle Tennessee, was very adamant several years ago when all of this was going on. They were joining Conference USA. He said, look, we're different than those guys, and then it was the Power Five. We know that the Group of Five is different than the Power Five. There's no doubt. It's a different football. And so the thought that the SEC and the Big Ten can grow to a total of 40 teams, let's say, because there's only about maybe 6 other teams that you really would want to pull in. You get your Clemson and Florida State, Miami, maybe North Carolina, maybe K-State and Kansas or something like that. You pull those teams together and you have a Big Ten West and a Big Ten East, and you got to put the West Coast back together, whatever it is. If those two guys end up representing those teams, they have the horsepower to go ahead, and that is something different than everybody else. It's just a fact. And whether it's 40 teams or 60 teams or 70, I think at some point in time there'll be some sort of separation, and then you could allow those other 60, 70 teams to play for a championship. So I'm with you on that. I think it could happen.
And they create their own market when it comes to television. I mean, look, I'm tuning in, and maybe look, I'm a college football junkie. I love it. I'm tuning in on a Tuesday night, for Sunbelt action, or we got Maction, whatever. If there's college football on, usually I'm going to tune in for it. I think that, there is a financial market for these other schools. And I think that is somewhat being lost in all of this. And that means they have to play for their own championship at the end of the year, and they have to have their own type of playoff. Like, okay, I could get around to that. I think that it takes away from the whole dynamic. You just think of college football in general. It takes away from it. We have seen the upsets happen. It's rare, but we've seen those type of things happen. I think that what you'd also going to see is, a lot of these athletic departments rely on these buy games, and okay, thank you, one school, $1.5 million. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're right. So you have to figure out a way around the current system and how you can format it. And I just think personally, it would be very, very beneficial to a lot of teams in college athletics, especially college football, is if you had your own thing to fight for at the end of the year, knowing, you're not either going to make the CFP because there's only maybe 4 spots for those outside the Power Four conferences. And so, that's where the change is coming. And I do think we'll get there. I'm not saying I 100% agree with it, but I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world.
Well, and it's a different kind of, the group of 6 mid-majors, to use a basketball term. That gap is growing more and more now because, they don't even have, forget NIL, they don't even have the rev share the same level as the Power Four. So what's happened is they've turned into a breeding ground. They've turned into AAA for the Power Four. So now the gap's going to grow even more. If there were going to be upsets, now you have you have teams, the entire team leaves at the end of the year and they all go get, jobs in Power Four schools. So it's getting even worse. And
well, they also forget too, let's just say UConn, St. John's, Gonzaga, blah, blah, blah. There's a number of schools we can name. They don't have strong football programs. So all that money goes towards basketball, and so there is a differential going on in college athletics right now. And that's where I'm interested to see, where this goes from either a collective bargaining standpoint, additional rev share standpoint, because there are no rules right now. Like there are none. That's why there are so many schools technically breaking them. But at the same time, the NCAA knows it. The College Sports Commission knows it. Well, it's hard to enforce this stuff. And that's why you're going to have $45, $50 million rosters. It ain't all coming from the House settlement. If folks haven't figured that out yet, the money's coming from these third-party multimedia rights deals that are also being done too. So what kind of what I'm getting at is that, the major schools are able to sell this compared to the MTSUs, the University of South Alabama's, the Ohio Bobcats, you name it. That's where the divide is in college athletics.
Trey Wallace with us from Outkick.com talking about the state of college athletics right now. And it's got to be a little scary for everybody else. The more you see the SEC and Big Ten linked together like this, conversation that Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti had with Ted Cruz. It's like, wow, those guys are doing a lot of stuff. They're going to determine the college football playoff. Now they're sitting there, they're going to tell them, where we stand on this deal here. So it's obvious that it's really the big two that have kind of separated a little bit. And I did think that the act, the Cruz act there was a little bit interesting and pointed towards the Big Ten and the SEC because they had that codicil in there that, any conference that makes over $1 billion in gross revenues can't expand or merge. And it was like, well, there's only 2 of those, and it's the SEC and the Big Ten. And then to say, pool, revenue, TV revenue, why would the SEC and the Big Ten be interested in any way, shape, or form sharing their TV money with those other schools? And by the way, they don't need those other schools they don't need to play those people for it to be a sexy game. You get enough of those with the SEC and the Big Ten within their conferences, and if they were playing each other even more, TV would trip over themselves to get those games. So it's it was like there's no way that the SEC and the Big Ten would go for that the way it's written right now. There's other decent stuff in there.
It's also not their job to look out for the other conferences. I hate to be that guy and say that, but it's not Greg Sankey's job to worry about the ACC or the Big 12. His job is to worry about the SEC and the amount of money that they can garner from television deals and, bowl revenue, CFP and whatnot. It just point blank period. That's it. So, then the bill has a few things that, caught my eye, but the main one was, besides, the obvious is, a school can't go out and hire a coach till after the season's over. So it's like, wait a minute. And I pressed Ted Cruz on this last week. I was like, you're telling me that a school cannot go out, interview, hire, talk to, do all this type of stuff of a new head coach until after next year to be January 25th that the CFP ends, while by the way, the transfer portal had already been open for 15 days. So what do you got to do? And he says, well, and I pressed him and I said, you have to change the calendar. And he goes, well, yeah, the NCAA would have to change the calendar. And I'm like, okay, you're adding more stuff to this without really thinking that part through. And I think that is one of the problems with this legislation is, you can't tell a school when they can go out and hire a coach, and what kind of punishment would there be? The feds are going to work with the NCAA to punish a school if they went out and hired somebody, before the CFP championship game or did a backdoor deal. Like some of it is a little bit preposterous.
Well, that's why they those are the things that really need to be dealt with is the calendar. And this season needs to start in August 22nd, something like that. All the high schools start around that same time. That's when it needs to start so that we can get finished. And I personally want to see the conference championship games stay. I wish they could be worked in somehow, but I got a feeling that this ultimately is going to go away. But we need to then lock and load and start playing. If we're going to have a playoff or whatever, we can't have 2 to 3 weeks in between playoff games and keep stretching this thing out. It's absolutely absurd in every way. You also have to give the NCAA, and I think the biggest crux of what's going on in Congress, you got to give the NCAA some sort of protection so that they can make rules. That brings us to the Brandon Sorby situation. If they can't stop that kid from playing college football and make him ineligible, because a court in Texas turns around and says, no, it's good, it's fine, even though he bet $90,000 or $65,000 with his family, whatever. If they can't do that, now it's really anarchy. There's no governing body at all. They got to allow those people to be a governing body somehow.
If a Lubbock District Court judge comes out, whether that be today or whether that be Monday, I don't know, maybe they would drop it on a Saturday, his opinion, and says, yeah, you know what? We actually agree with Brendan Sorsby that the NCAA is not looking out for his mental health and his addiction problems. We're going to allow him to play this year. College athletics would explode. We've already lost the plot. I don't know what the next phase is in losing the plot, but that would be the next phase. You can't have it. I don't care if he bet on NBA, UFC, PGA, Romanian hockey or soccer, the Nathan's hot dog contest. He broke the main rule his first year in college, and he bet on his own team 40 different times. By the way, they've admitted to this. Sorsby's admitted to it. Texas Tech admitted to it in a filing in the court system. That's it. And you know what? In my opinion, God love him. I hope that he continues getting the help he needs. I think if he fights through, he'll have a chance at the NFL, whatever that looks like, supplemental draft or next year's NFL draft, whatever. He'll get a chance. But 4 years ago, he broke the cardinal rule, and he broke the most obvious rule in college athletics. I don't care that it's been 4 years ago. Jeffrey Kessler, the attorney, tried to argue, well, you know what? The integrity of the game wasn't at stake. He was also on the scout team. So was he really part of the roster? Yeah, he was a part of the roster.
Yeah,
he was practicing. He was with the team.
Room. He knows who's healthy and who's not healthy.
Right.
And it's the other 300 games too. I mean, that's one thing. It's the 40 games at his own school, the 50 games with the basketball team. I get all of that. He couldn't have made money with Indiana basketball, but the other 300 games that are admitted out there of 300 college games. He's been recruited. He's played with other kids. He's an insider. It's insider trading. He knows different things that other people may not know. And whether it's an addiction or not, you can listen. We'll all support the guy for getting help for addiction if you want to say it's an addiction, but there's still got to be a penalty. You know what I equate it to a little bit, Trey, is the guy that ran out on the court the other night during the Knicks Spurs game. If that guy if you can run out on the court, take a selfie, post it, and not have some kind of real hammer dropped on you, I know they suspended him for life or whatever from going to games. But if they don't drop a hammer on something like that, when is the next nut job going to say, hey, I could just run out on a court at a college basketball game and just get a slap on the wrist, that kind of, and to get my 15 minutes of fame? All of college football is looking at this. If this kid gets away with this, it's going to be huge. It's going to be.
We seem to forget 2 years ago, Hunter Deckers, the quarterback at Iowa State, essentially did the same thing, but they can only prove that he bet one time, and he lost all of his eligibility. And guess what he didn't do? He didn't take him to court, and look for an injunction and whatnot. Here's the way I look at it. Brendan Sorsby has had 4 years to play college football knowing he broke the rules. Be happy with the 4 years you got to play and the fact that they didn't notice this 3.5 years ago and your eligibility would have been done then. That is my whole sticking point to this. And I would hope for the sake of the game in college athletics that a judge will use common sense. But again, It's the legal system. I have no idea how this one's going to play out, though. I think, the smart move is to say, hey, bud, sorry, dude, you broke the rules. I don't think the NCAA is out to hurt you by saying that you were ineligible.
I think somebody would grab him in the supplemental too. I don't think his career getting paid to play football would be. He needs to deal with the gambling issue, obviously, but
no, he play again. At least get a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'd have definitely. I think somebody would burn a pick on him and take a shot at him. Trey Wallace has been our guest. Trey, you are outstanding. I really appreciate you joining us. I really love your work. Keep up the great work, and we'll look forward to chatting again sometime down the road.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you having me, buddy.
All right, thank you. That's Trey Wallace. I'll kick and look when you're talking to a dude like that, and he says, "Look, I pressed Ted Cruz on this last week." I mean, that's not some guy reading an article and giving us his opinion. That's a guy who interviewed Ted Cruz about all this stuff that's going on. So what is the supplemental draft? Whoever got picked in a supplemental draft, what did it even mean by that? Well, a little education when we come back. And I ended the last hour by saying that Caleb Williams has no business being on the cover of Madden. I'll give you a few names. I got 4 off the top of my head, right off the top of my head, that are way more deserving than Caleb Williams to be on the cover of Madden this year. Phone lines go open. 256-576-4977. Natty Danny's upset with me because I didn't take his call yesterday. And apparently he was left on hold for 2 hours. Is that true, boys? Did you guys leave that man on hold for 2 hours? Maybe. No, what do you mean? I did. I got to move the show along. He was like 3rd or 4th in line on the call list. I couldn't get to him. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He just barely missed out on getting in the first segment, and then I remember I left because I had to come over to Valley Equipment. Great time, by the way. Tasty food.
Yeah. Very good.
But I don't know. I mean, he probably held for a little bit longer.
Says he was on hold the entire show, which so I apologize. Sometimes we don't get to all of them depending on, when the open line segment falls. We have content that we have to get to. I mean, look, we took Philip's call and he told us about all the 70s and 80s TV shows that are on today. I mean, who knew? Who knew that, Clint Eastwood movies were going to be on today? Dirty Harry is on today on TV. Now we know. All right, we get a break. 256-576-4977 if you want to jump on board. It's the Tom Abraham Show. Back with more right after this.
You're listening to the Tom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Atlanta Braves are back at Truist Park tonight. They'll take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Chris Sale is on the bump for the Braves. He's 8-3 with an ERA right around 2. The Braves tonight on the money line minus 199, while Toronto is plus 163. Tonight, it's game number 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals as the Hurricanes host the Golden Knights. Carolina needs a win to even up the series. Carolina minus 162 on the money line, while Vegas is plus 136. The over-under is 5.5 goals. Tomorrow night, game 2 of the NBA Finals. Spurs looking to even things up. San Antonio is a 5.5-point home favorite. With your VSiN Action Update, I'm John Thayer on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Thom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
Baumhauer's Restaurant, legendary food and legendary fun. Whether you're craving the freshest seafood from Alabama's Gulf Coast, juicy chicken or char-grilled steaks seared to succulent perfection, you're craving Baumhauer's Restaurant. Add to that a sports-themed atmosphere and HD flat screens every place you look. For a sneak peek at the menu, go to baumhauers.com. Legendary food, legendary fun. Baumhauer's Restaurant.
365, 24/7. You'll find road and utility crews, tow trucks, law enforcement, and first responders working along Alabama's roadway.
We're making improvements and helping our communities stay connected.
We're working hard to make sure you're safe on the road. Now we need your help to make sure we're safe too.
Alabama's move over law requires you to move over a lane when you see flashing lights on the roadside. And if you can't safely move over, please slow down.
Visit DriveSafeAlabama.org, brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation, Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
My caretaker was very rough with me. I thought they did it because I wasn't moving fast enough.
Elder abuse is a crime, and together we can stop it. If you or someone you know has been abused, neglected, or exploited, call the Adult Abuse Hotline at 1-800-458-7214. That's 1-800-458-7214. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Department of Justice, ADECA Grant number 18VA-VS050, the ABA, and this station.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A really nice Friday across the Tennessee Valley. A little more cloud cover. It also may be just a touch on the humid end of the spectrum, but still really nice. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-80s, dropping into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Saturday, maybe a passing shower or two, but the vast majority of us are going to be dry. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. A better opportunity for rain builds in on Sunday.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the show is brought to you by Lynn Layton Ford. That's right. My good friend Bobby White is now at Lynn Layton, and I'm right there with him. And you know what you'll never find at Lynn Layton Ford? Some mysterious dock fee that can be like $600, $700, or $800. The price you saw advertised is the price you'll pay. That's the Lynn Layton way. You see, transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur. I made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Layton Ford. All right, welcome back. Thom Abraham Show. On a football Friday. Football music all throughout the show, including that little ditty. All right, in order of the longest wait, okay? I will take all these calls, okay? But I'm going to go in order of the longest wait. And I need to give you a little education on the supplemental draft. I have a couple of other things I want to get in there. I may or may not get to. I don't know. West Virginia's up 3-0 on Cal Poly. First game in the Supers, by the way, at West Virginia on an abomination that is that synthetic turf. The synthetic turf fields for baseball are just absolutely horrific, especially ones that have synthetic. Well, they especially if they got synthetic, the dirt part. You know what I mean? It's bad enough that you got the synthetic grass, but then they got synthetic dirt. And is it the same fibers and everything as the grass? Is it tighter than the grass? Is the synthetic dirt section like shorter pile than the carpet that is the grass? Like, you know, or is it all the same? It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. Let's get to the lines. Grumpy is up first. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, pretty good, man. I was just wondering if you could ask the Phillip when Maddox comes on, man. I appreciate
it. Yeah, when is Maddox going to be on? Isn't James Garner? Isn't his show coming up here pretty soon? When is Murder, She Wrote, Phillip? Is that going to be on? By the way, speaking of Grumpy, I heard a rumor. LSU Lynch has gotten a ticket for the 2026 Rocket City Awards. And, you guys can all buy tickets to that deal. All right. So you can get a ticket on the floor at a table, have a beautiful meal at the Marist Music Hall, see an incredible awards presentation, complete with all the video presentations and all that. Grasshopper does all the video work for it. I'm your MC, and all the guys from the radio station and some other dignitaries from around North Alabama handle the award presentations. We'll give out 17 awards this year, plus the special Billy Neighbors Lifetime Achievement Award. And we're going to tell you who some of those awards are going to be for before the event, so that you can make your plans to come down if you want. But we do have room available. It's getting down to just a couple of tables that are left. Tables have 8 each, but we're going to group the listeners together. So, Grumpy, make sure you get your email in so you get your spot secured. And I know Lynch has got his, and maybe Natty Danny will come to the event too. If he's not in, I don't even know where he is now. Is he in Hawaii? Is he in Italy? Is he in Spain? Is he in Canada? Is he in Michigan?
He'll want to make time for this. He will.
Natty Danny, where are you now? Where are you calling us from?
I'm in good old Hunts Vegas right now.
Oh, you're back? You're home for like 15 minutes before you head out again?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know about your synthetic turf and synthetic dirt, but I know what real lava rocks looks like. Yeah, baby. We were there. The volcano erupted. We didn't get a chance to see it because we were there the day before. We missed the volcano erupting. But let me tell you some things about Hawaii. First off, the weather was unbelievable. It's 80s, low 80s, breeze, constant breeze.
Constant breeze, yeah.
No humidity. The air is fresh. Just unbelievable. Now, you can keep Honolulu and Waikiki. That's just too many buildings. It's like a city. I want nothing to do with it. But the Big Island, everybody's moving to the Big Island.
Yeah.
And I decided to play golf. I wanted to play 18, but we had the kids there and everything. So my little grandson and my son and I went to a par 3, which is a part of the 18-hole course there that where we stayed at, we overlooked the course, the 10th tee box.
Now, is this on the Big Island, or is this on the Big Island?
Big Island,
okay.
Yeah. Now, check it out. So they gave us a small little bag with 3 clubs and everything. And I'm going to tell you what, if you play golf in Hawaii and if you can't play well, then you suck. Because I sent a message to you that, Thom, it's like the Legends, even better, the grass. Meaning
Ledges.
There's no hard pan. The ball sits up like a tee every time you hit it.
Yeah.
I was stroking. It was only a par 3 course, but I was stroking. I'm going, man, I wish this here. I wish that the fairways were like that here. But, the closest is the Legends. But we had a big time, man. It was all good. I watched some of the playoffs. My wife and I are getting into the playoffs. We watched the hockey playoffs last night. Were fun.
Yeah.
And then in the NBA, I'll tell you what, that Bronson guy from New York,
unbelievable.
You know what he is? He's Isaiah times 2. He's Isaiah.
Yeah, that's a good comp. That's a good comp. I played golf in Hawaii at Maui, on Maui at Wailea Country Club. I played 3 rounds there. And it is absolutely beautiful, like bonsai trees and stuff, and a lot of elevation changes and things like that. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. Now there are places stateside too where I'll tell you what, go run over to Bear Trace right now. Conditions are incredible. That ball's sitting up nice and plush as well. And there are certainly places around the southeast that are like that, but But yeah, golf in Hawaii is great. The Big Island has the big volcano there. So I got to see the molten rock, during that deal as well. You can go up to the rim of one of those volcanoes and check that out. Beautiful.
It's spewing quite a bit. The one in 2014 or 16 or 17, something in that area. Yeah. The volcano was so erupted so much they had to pull everybody off the observatory that watched it, and it shot way. I mean, we're talking. I want to say probably a quarter mile in the air. It was and then a lava rock.
Oh, really?
Anyway, long story short, it was a great time. I enjoyed it. And getting back to the basketball, yeah, I love watching him play. He reminds me of Isaiah a lot, and the series. I'm so sick of this Victor Wembanyama, whatever the heck his name is. That's the next LeBron James. We're all going to worship him. I ain't worshiping nobody except for one person, and you know who that is. But the bottom line is, I like this guard from New York. I enjoy this team. I like watching this team. It's got a lot of chutzpah. So, but it's all good, Tom, but I'm still a little jet lag. I got to get back on the Big Bird pretty soon and fly another 9 hours. So, I don't know, man.
Enjoy that. Yeah, I don't like I don't like the fly. Yeah, I don't like being on the plane that long. Did you go through Chicago?
Huh?
When you flew there, did you go through Chicago or did you fly to LA and then fly from LA to Hawaii?
No, I fly from here to Atlanta and Atlanta to Hawaii was from here to Detroit and then Detroit to Hawaii. But this one here, it's going to be Atlanta to Italy.
Atlanta to Italy? Wow.
Yep.
All right.
Tom, I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. I have to take both of those statements back. I'm leaving Huntsville to Atlanta to Italy, and I left Huntsville from here to Detroit for the Hawaii trip, and then Hawaii. So actually, I'm leaving out of Huntsville. There you go.
All right,
man.
Good stuff, man.
I had a great
Appreciate
time,
you,
bro. I'm glad I'm back. Let's go play some golf before it gets too late. Okay?
It's going to happen soon.
All right, see you, bro.
Appreciate you. So we've got, so now we know what the 70s TV shows that are on today, and we've got a little travel report. Welcome to June in the Doghouse.
When are we playing golf next?
I was actually thinking of going this afternoon. I'm either going on the water or I'm going to play golf. I just need to relax a little bit. It's been a very busy week. It's been a slammed week. I'm thinking about going sometime later today, but I think I'm going to hit the lake. I'm going to hit the lake instead.
We'll set up another golf trip as well.
Yeah.
And let me know in advance so I don't have to just, miss it.
Coming up on June 15th, over there at Bear Trace, for those of you in that area, in Winchester, the Franklin County football tournament will be June 15th. They're having a scramble there, $500 for the team. There's still teams available if you want to get involved in that deal.
We playing in that?
By we, if you mean me.
Come on. Yeah. I thought I was going to be part of a team for that thing.
Yeah, no. It looks like it's me, the Knuckle Dog, the Natural, and Billy.
Golly.
Yeah,
I got screwed out of the spot.
You got screwed. I mean, I double check, make sure everybody's good to go, but right now it seems like everybody's good to go.
Last time you saw me golf, I thought I did pretty well.
Why don't you and John have a team? It's a Monday. They're closed. You see, you and John would be two. Get two more guys and put a team in this thing. It's your alma mater, for God's sakes.
We'll go and get Bailey.
There you go. Bailey's a good player.
Yeah, he's good. I got to find
He's a good little player.
He's consistent. He can hit it down the fairway, but the thing is he doesn't have the strength to knock that.
But
thing
you don't need
far.
that. It's a scramble, and you got John. John hits 330 every time.
We'll probably use my ball more.
That big knucklehead sitting next to you there. Doesn't he play golf? That big drink of water. I think he plays golf. Maybe not.
He plays a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how good he is actually though on the course.
I'm mentioning the golf tournament, and I'm not even telling you how to sign up because I don't know. I'd be honest with you. I would say go to 931go.com website. That's the website for ESPN Winchester. Go there, and they've got it posted on there. How you can register if you want to play in the tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. Raising money for the new head coach and the new program at Franklin County, where the Rebels football are going to be resurgent this year. Everybody who's had any interaction, John, with this new head coach at Franklin County thinks very, very highly of him. This guy's got it going on. You know who he coached? You know George McIntyre, the kid that's going to be the quarterback at Tennessee?
Yeah.
He coached him. He was an assistant at Brentwood and was the offensive coordinator or something like that there, and coached the McIntyre kid who's now at UT.
Let's hope he can get it done. It's been a tough few years for that Franklin County squad.
Well, ever since you were playing there, when you guys weren't you 6-4, something like that?
Yeah, I think we were. Yeah, I think we were over 500, which is
for Franklin County. That's
tough.
a thing.
Yeah,
that's a thing there.
Won the last game of the season, so that's big.
So the supplemental draft in the NFL, there's been 46 players selected overall in the NFL supplemental draft. It started in 1977. There was a supplemental draft in 1984. Okay.
History began on July 4th, 1776. Everything before that was a mistake.
It's time for a history lesson with the big dog, Thom Abraham.
So in 1984, the NFL had a special supplemental draft for any college senior who had already signed with the USFL or the Canadian Football League, because the USFL was folding at that point in time. They made that move. They were going to go. Donald Trump that made this ridiculous decision to take the league from a spring league and put it in the fall and compete with the NFL, and that was the end of that. And they ended up never playing in the fall. So they had a supplemental draft, okay, on June 5th of 1984 to stop there being a bidding war, because all the teams were like going after all this talent that was in the USFL. It isn't like now in the UFL. Then, I mean, you had Herschel Walker, you had Steve Young, you had Reggie White, there were 84 players that were playing in the USFL that went on and played in the NFL. I'm not even talking about the guys like a Brian Sipe or guys that were established players that left the NFL to go there. I'm talking about guys that were, that never played in the NFL that went and played in the USFL. So they had a special draft then. But this supplemental draft thing started in 1977, and it would be for some guy that missed the regular draft for whatever reason. The first one I remember is 1980. The wide receiver from USC, Billy Mullins. So this kid, get this, John, this kid was declared ineligible when it was discovered that he gained credits simultaneously from 4 different junior colleges in the fall of 1977 so that he could get entry into USC. And they said, yeah, no, you're ineligible. And the San Diego Chargers took him with the 9th pick. The supplemental draft, so the supplemental draft goes like the regular draft in terms of, like, if you're the Titans and you have the number 1 pick in the regular draft, you could then use your next year's so if they have a supplemental draft, right, for this Sorsby kid, whatever the supplemental draft is, and they'll have whatever names in there, kids that turned out they missed the regular deadline for the regular draft, you go into that draft. If you decide to use your pick, the first round, second round, third round, fourth round, basically what you're using is the next year's pick. Do you understand that?
Oh, yeah.
See how that works? So you're burning a pick from next year to use it there. So you got to be very careful with what you do. Now, in 1981, Dave Wilson out of Illinois was declared ineligible because there was questions about his high school transcript and his junior. And Dave Wilson was a pretty good quarterback. And the New Orleans Saints took him with a first-round pick into supplemental and burned their 1982 first-round draft pick on the kid. Now, the first time I really became aware of it, John, in 1985, a quarterback out of Miami had graduated after his junior year and got his degree in 3 years. His name was Bernie Kosar.
Oh, yeah.
And what happened with Bernie Kosar was he was gonna play out his, he was gonna go to grad school and play another year at Miami. But he said Bernie Kosar wanted to play for the Cleveland Browns so bad. Okay, he's from Akron, Ohio. So Bernie Kosar wanted to play for the Browns. So his agent said, look, Bernie will go in this. Cleveland had the first pick. Bernie will go in the supplemental draft if Cleveland will take him. If the Browns aren't going to take him, he's going back to college. That's how bad he wanted to be a Cleveland Brown. So the Browns said, okay, Bernie, if you go in the draft, we'll draft. If you go into supplemental summer draft, we will draft you with our. And so Cleveland used its first pick for 1986. They burned it on Bernie Kosar in the summer of 1985.
I think it worked out.
Worked out. In 1987, Brian Bosworth had been dismissed from the Oklahoma Sooners football team, and he was a junior, and he was eligible to be chosen in the 1987 draft, but he did not declare before the deadline and decided to wait for the supplemental draft, which he was eligible for because he had already graduated from Oklahoma 1 year early. And the Seattle Seahawks used their first-round pick to draft Brian Bosworth in the summer, in the supplemental draft. Also that year, there was a wide receiver that was suspended before his senior year, his senior season, because he signed with an agent at Ohio State. 1987. I'll give you a 2 hints and see if you can guess. It's way before your time. He was a senior at Ohio State. He signed with an agent. He was declared ineligible and suspended. He decided to declare for the supplemental draft. He was picked by the Philadelphia Eagles with the fourth pick in the supplemental, or fourth round pick in the supplemental draft. And he ended up in the Hall of Fame. The only player ever selected in the supplemental draft that ended up in the Hall of Fame. Do you have a...
Give me a
Philadelphia Eagles out of Ohio State.
I don't need any more hints than that. It's Chris Carter.
Yeah, because you looked it up on their website.
I literally named players after him whenever I created my old football leagues.
You looked it up, though. To be honest, you looked it up.
Come on now.
Steve Walsh. Steve Walsh was a junior, and he missed the signing deadline to put his name in for the draft in 1989, and the Cowboys drafted Steve Walsh with a first-round pick, their first-round pick. And the Phoenix Cardinals at the time, not the Arizona Cardinals, they were called the Phoenix Cardinals, they drafted with the first-round pick Tim Rosenbach, who was the quarterback out of Washington State. Took him in the first round. Bobby Humphrey was drafted by the Denver Broncos in 89 in the supplemental draft out of Alabama. Bobby Humphrey, that was a first-round pick in the supplemental. There was a bunch of guys, then. There was more. It was more prevalently used then. Some other names that you might know that were drafted. Ahmad Brooks was drafted after he was dismissed by his college team at Virginia. He was drafted by the Bengals with a third-round pick in 2006. You remember Terrell Pryor, the Oakland Raiders. He was suspended by the NCAA for improper benefits, and the Oakland Raiders used a third-round pick in the supplemental to draft him.
Well, just a few years prior to that, Josh Gordon.
No, the year after that. Josh Gordon was picked in 2012, Terrell Pryor in 2011. 2012, the Browns used a second-round pick to take Josh Gordon out of Baylor. Josh Gordon, the reason he was available in the supplemental, he was dismissed from Baylor for failing a marijuana test. Ooh, I guess you should have seen that coming. How many more did he fail?
Hey, who cares, man? He was great.
Oh, who cares? The guy could have been a Hall of Famer. Who cares? Of course, the rules changed. The rules now, he'd be able to play.
That's what I'm saying. A little flower did it all to him.
The last guy selected in the supplemental draft was in 2019. So we haven't had a guy picked in a supplemental draft for 7 years. All right, we'll get a break. We'll come back, wrap it up right after this Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you're craving a juicy, made-to-order burger with all your favorite toppings, it's time to head to Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Fresh, never-frozen, hand-formed patties, crispy, fresh-cut fries, savory hot dogs, and topped off with an ice-cold real milkshake. Five Guys knows what you like. Come and get it in Huntsville on North Parkway and on Enterprise, and in Madison on Moonshot Drive and Highway 72. Order online at fiveguys.com or just walk in. Five Guys. Perfection every time. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, and our employee pricing for everyone is in high gear right now at Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur. That's right, everyone in the Tennessee Valley can get our special Ford employee pricing on over 280 available new Fords. Save up to $15,000 off MSRP on remaining new 25 F-150s and up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 25 Broncos. With your good credit, you can save thousands with financing as low as 0% on select new models. And always remember, Lynn Layton Ford will never charge you any mysterious dock fee or some hidden markup. It's simple. You pay what we pay on 280 new Fords. That's right, $15,000 off MSRP on new 25 F-150s, $8,000 off MSRP on new 25 Broncos, or lock in 0% financing on select new models. Come see us at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
This summer, we make HVAC history as Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation celebrates our country's 250th birthday. Happy birthday, America! In honor of crossing the Delaware River and kicking Cornwallis out of Yorktown, Sensagreen now offers $1,776 off new HVAC systems. Give me liberty and a new HVAC smart system this summer at Sensagreen with Bryant. Whatever it takes, just like our founding fathers. USA! USA! USA!
Alabama license number 12705/52808.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A really nice Friday across the Tennessee Valley. A little more cloud cover. It also may be just a touch on the humid end of the spectrum, but still really nice. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-80s, dropping into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Saturday, maybe a passing shower or two, but the vast majority of us are going to be dry. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. A better opportunity for rain builds in on Sunday.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the show is brought to you by my good friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance. You know, I've known Mike for over 20 years, and no one knows the appliance business better than Mike. And he's always there to help support whatever we are doing on the show. And they've got all the major brands like Maytag, GE, Whirlpool, Electrolux, Speed Queen, and more. Visit the interactive location in Lacey Springs, where you can try the washers and dryers before you buy them. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality prices, quality service. Owen Home Appliance. Kid just hit a home run for Cal Poly, and the best part about that is that he had stirrups on. Cal Poly team's words, sanitaries and stirrups. God, what a beautiful thing that is. Bama Brad says, stop being a Packer lover and a Bear hater. Caleb Williams is a superstar, a future Hall of Famer. Belongs on the cover of Madden. I'll take Myles Garrett. I'll take Matt Stafford, the MVP of the league. I'll take Drake May. I'll take Sam Darnold. All of those guys should have been on the cover before Caleb Williams. All right, that's going to do it for us. For Grasshopper and Hollywood, I'm Thom Abraham. Have a great weekend, everybody.